Hi, and welcome to the What You Didn't Know show. I'm your host, Ava Whelan, alongside Mary Bussey, and today we will be talking to you about the ever-changing old religion of Hinduism.
Maybe you know a lot about Hinduism, but maybe you don't. But from what we've gathered from the people of the streets of America, we have learned that America is extremely uninformed on this topic.
So we decided to make this a special for this afternoon.
We asked people basic questions about Hinduism, and these were their answers.
What comes to mind when you guys hear the word Hinduism?
India. Muslims.
When do you think Hinduism was created?
About 500 decades ago?
I don't know, the 1700s?
1982.
What do you know about Hinduism?
Well, I do not know much about Hinduism, but I know that all Hindus enjoy Bollywood films.
What comes to mind when you hear the word Hinduism?
I think of Indians and people, yak people.
Excuse this interruption, but I would like to point out that these quote-unquote yak people, it is not actually a yak, it is a cow that they believe is sacred, especially in Nepal. They're seen as sacred because of their agricultural and gentle nature. Hindus rely heavily on cows for different agricultural reasons, such as dairy products, tilling their fields, fuel, and fertilizer. So cows are seen as a caretaker or maternal figure. And one of the Hindu goddesses is always depicted in a cow form, and she is the caretaker of the earth. And Hindus believe that earth is a very important thing.
Ava and I also believe that taking care of the earth is very important. We believe that it is very important because if we don't take care of the earth, who else will? And it'll just end up getting worse and worse if we don't do anything about it. And before we know it, the earth that we know now won't be the earth that we have in our future. So an example of how we try and help the earth and take care of it is whenever we see trash or things that don't belong on the ground, we pick them up and throw them away in the nearest trash can so they don't end up in the sewer system or any lakes or rivers nearby. This is the same thing that any good practicing Hindu would do because of their love for Mother Nature and how much Mother Nature provides for them.
Now that you've witnessed some of the misconceptions of Hinduism's basic facts, we would like to inform you of some of the background information of Hinduism. Let's start with when it was created. It was created 3,500 years ago and now has 860 million practitioners worldwide.
Hinduism has no founder or creator, and it did not arise from a single person or institution.
The story of Hinduism began about 1,500 years BC.
It's a polytheistic religion, meaning that they have many gods or deities.
And it grew off of the beliefs of ancient people.
Some people believe that it's been around forever, but everybody believes in Brahman. He was the supreme god, and all gods and goddesses descended from him.
Hindus believe that there are 4 different types of yogas on the pathway to enlightenment.
The first yoga is jnana yoga, and this summons the power of mind and the emphasis of meditation.
Karma yoga, which we've all heard of karma because karma's it depends on your past life to predict your future life. If you've had bad karma, you're going to have not so great of a future life. But if you've been a good person, you'll have good karma and things will reward you.
The next type of yoga is Bhakti yoga, which encourages the direction of one's love towards God and is basically praying.
Raja yoga is not a specific type of yoga, but it is just a way of saying that you've mastered the past 3. So this feeds into our next one called Hatha yoga, which gives you complete control over the mind and body. If you've mastered this one, you've pretty much got all of your centered core together
on your pathway to enlightenment.
Now that you've learned about the 4 basic types of yogas, I'm going to be telling you about their main belief, which is...
One of their main beliefs is that the soul continues to be reborn, although the cycle of rebirth ends when the soul achieves complete enlightenment and the freedom from earthly desires. And if you were a good person in your past life, you can be promoted to another human to have another chance of achieving that enlightenment. But if you are a bad person, you can be demoted to something such as a plant or an animal and have to continue to go up the chain until you've reached complete enlightenment.
Another one of the Hindus' main beliefs in their domestic lifestyle is their rites, which are called samskara. The sacraments are designed to make a person fit for the next phase in their life by removing sin.
On the surface, it may seem like us and Hindus are completely different. But once we dug a little deeper, we found that we had a lot of things in common.
We believe that doing the right thing is very important. We believe that because any decently good person would do the right thing in a time of need.
One time, an example of this, is when Ava and I were walking in the streets. We saw a man who was a couple feet ahead of us drop some money out of his pocket. We picked it up and both looked at each other and had the same thought running through our heads. Should we keep it? But both of us knew in our hearts and in our minds that it wasn't the right thing to do.
This is what any good Hindu practitioner would do. They would analyze the situation, but they would know in their heart that it's the right thing to do to give the money back.
And any good practicing Hindu would do this because it is taught all over the world to do the right thing all of the time, even when nobody's watching.
Just like our parents taught us. It's the integrity that we all have inside of us. Me and Mary are both very passionate people. We believe in putting effort into everything that you do. Whether it's competing in a sport or acing a test, we do it with 110%.
Because of us being such passionate people in everything that we do and we can really relate to one of the 4 values of a Hindu because they believe in having a lot of passion and using their emotions.
A good Hindu will show this through their everyday practice of meditation and showing their respect towards others. We went back to the same people that you saw at the beginning of the video and presented some of this information to them and then asked them some conclusion questions, and here's what they had to say.
Now, what do you think of when you hear the word Hinduism?
Now I know that there is no such thing as yak people. They are people who worship cows because of how much cows provide.
Now, after watching our presentation, what do you now think Hinduism is?
I now know it's a religion that was in India and it's not Muslim people.
Now, after watching our presentation, how long ago do you think Hinduism was created?
3,500 years ago.
Now, after learning about Hinduism, tell me a little bit about what you learned.
Well, quite a lot, Ava. I learned that not all Hindus enjoy Bollywood films, which is fine, I guess. But I did learn that Hindus worship multiple gods.
Now that you know more about Hinduism, what would you change from what you first thought about it?
I now know that Hinduism came first.
All right, that's good.
I learned that it's an individual's conception of God and there's an unlimited amount of gods.
All right, thank you for your time. Our views have definitely changed from the beginning of this research project to now. We did not think we had that many things in common with the Hindus, but we found out that we do. We have the same moral values and principles, and we also want to be emotionally and compassionate towards others.
We also found a new discovery of the sacred cows and how they're so valued in the Hindu culture. I never knew this before, and it was very special to me because of my love for cows.
We found out that they have some basic beliefs as us, as well as their way of life. They may have a different life cycle that we did not know about for sure, and we definitely found out some new basic facts about them that we did not know in the beginning. Because of all this new information that we've learned, our views have definitely shifted, and I feel a lot more educated in this area. We believe Hinduism has a positive effect on society. We believe this because their beliefs and goals, like ours, are all there for the good. They are here for an inner transformation of enlightenment and being successful in their communities. We think that this will only bring others up around them and make positive relationships with themselves and others. Thanks for joining us this afternoon on the What You Didn't Know show for a special on Hinduism. I'm signing off as host Ava Whelan alongside
Mary Bussey.
But join us next week for the special of What You Didn't Know About the Olympic Sport of Spikeball.